In this exercise, we'll take the supplied image and we'll resize it to a smaller size to apply to web, and we'll save it as a JPEG. So we'll start with the resizing and then we'll export it as a JPEG. Just use the provided file that you see here, and to change the image size we'll go up to the image pull down menu and we have image size, and inside of this dialog box we have the dimensions here and the resampling. Now if these are not set to pixels, make sure resample is checked as you see here. Go to your units, change it to pixels, and you can see we are starting with 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. You want to make sure that this little chain is clicked so that you can see these little lines so that it will be a uniform resize. And then I actually only have to type it in once. So I said I wanted to bring it down to 400 pixels. So I'll just highlight that 1000 and change it to 400. And again, because they are linked by the chain, the height will change accordingly as well and proportionately. Resolution should be set at 72. That is screen resolution. In other words, anything for digital. Websites, for example, would apply to this. And again, just double check that your resample is checked off. Then I click OK, and it resizes. Now I can see that it's smaller. I can zoom up by going Control plus on the PC, Command plus on the Mac. And I can see my percentage up here in the window. This is twice the size. There is 100% of the size. So now we will export this as a JPEG file. So I'll go up to File. There are a number of ways of doing this. I'm going to show you one way here now using the Export, Save for Web. Then we get a dialog box here. We do have presets up here, and I will ask you just to set it to JPEG high if it's not already set to that. Really, that's all you need to do. What you want to just make sure is that you have the format that you desire. In this case, JPEG, and we do want to have high quality, so JPEG high. You can see that we have other formats, GIF as well as PNG, but we want to set it, this one, to JPEG high. Once you do that, you click Save. It will ask you where you want to save it. Save. Now let me just shrink this down a bit here. And I do have a folder called Web Images. Maybe I'll create a new folder in there. Actually, I'll just keep them in there. And I will rename it Box Cheddar. I'll go at the end and add _100, meaning it's 100 pixels. If I want to be more specific, I guess I can go PX. Just so I know when I'm looking at the file name that this is 100 pixels. And I'll just click Save. And there we have it. It's that simple. I'll do it again on another one here. Got a Toronto Blue Jays logo here. And this one I'll actually save as a PNG, because what you see here as checkerboard is actually transparency. So again, we'll resize this one a little bit and then we'll export it as a PNG format. Now the PNG format is the only format that will allow us to have rich transparency. So I'm just going to go Image, Image Size. Again, it will retain the previous settings, so the link should be okay, the resample should be checked, it should be set to pixels. If not, just make sure those are set accordingly. And this one too I will bring down. Now it's not square, but when I bring it down with the chain link selected, it will proportionally resize it. So I'm going to set this one to 400 width. And you can see the height got changed to 192. I click OK, and it does go smaller. And you can see now this is the new size. And I'll go again, File, Export, Save for Web. This time my preset will be PNG24. That's the only one that will allow for the full transparency and smooth edges on the transparency that we can see here, as indicated by the checkerboard pattern. We'll click Save. And again, I'll just append the file name at the end. You can see that it's .png, but I'm just going to add _100px, telling me it's 100 pixels wide. Okay, and save. Now we'll do one more. It's known as the Gif format. And I have another file here called shell logo. And the Gif format, what's special about the Gif format is that it has a limited palette. In other words, you can see the color swatches here. A GIF image can have up to 256 colors, but as little as one color. So what it does is it actually maximizes on the color, and when you have very flat graphics such as this that do not have semitones, they're not photographic in nature, but are a very limited number of colors, generally GIF gives you the best compression and will keep the colors flat. In other words, there will be no pixel distortion within the color. So we'll resize this as well, as we've been doing. I'll go Image, Image Size. Again, I'll bring it down to 400 pixels square, because this one happens to be square. Click OK, and it's resized. And now I'll go File, Export, Save for Web. And in this case, we'll pick GIF. What these numbers mean is this is the number of colors you can have in your palette. Now, we only have 3 colors in this thing, so I could get away with a lower number, but just to be safe, I'll say GIF 128 dithered. And it actually shows me the color palette that will be applied to this graphic. It analyzes it and then gives you a specific custom color palette. I will click Save. And again, at the end of the file name, I will just append it with the underscore 100px, telling me it's 100 pixels wide. Click Save, and we're good to go. Now if I go out to my desktop, you can see in here, I'll just go Date Modified, and there are my 3 images right there. And we will apply those to a web page. And that is how you resize, export, and format different types of images to be applied to the web.